All right, so I'm looking at the chart. So this is the QQQ, Invesco QQQ Trust. This is a hedge fund. This is actually an index. All right, what they do is this chart pretty much gives you an idea of the overall Nasdaq market, which is the S&P 500, right? So if this is going down, chances are, of course, the market is also going down. This is kind of an overview of the entire market. They have, I think, the best 100 companies of the Nasdaq. So it's like an index. And as you can see, I'm on the monthly charts, and let me change into bar chart. So we were at the top in November last year. All right. And now we are over here. So if you take your measurement, that's a 21% decline. All right. COVID decline was, I think, about 30%. About 32, and this is a 21% decline. So if you go to 2008, that crash was somewhere around 53%, right? And this one, which is the dot-com bubble, it was almost 80%, right? So with regards to these major crashes that we had in 2008 and 2001, this is actually nothing. I would say this can be categorized as a correction. I wouldn't say that we are crashing per se, but like it is certainly a crash. Okay, and this is the COVID one. This is where we currently at now. So it's 20% compared to other ones. This is really small and not that significant. But the biggest problem is, will this stop here and gain momentum and go back up and achieve an all-time high, or will this just keep on crashing? All right. So keep an eye on here. Okay, so this is the Invesco QQQ, and this is Bitcoin. Now, what I want to talk about is, of course, Bitcoin and stocks are two different things. That's what they have you believe, right? In my previous video last video that I made about Bitcoin, I talked about why when Nasdaq goes down, Bitcoin actually went down. Like there's some sort of a correlation, mainly because Nasdaq is mainly is tech heavy. Let's call it tech heavy Nasdaq. That's what they call it, right? So when tech stocks goes down, these are really risk-off assets, right? They're riskier assets. They do perform well when their interest rates are really low. They don't tend to perform well when interest rates are really high. So that's why they go down. And Bitcoin, even though it's not a tech stocks, it's a technology. So that's why Bitcoin is also going down, because Wall Street is dumping all of these tech stocks. And Bitcoin is also kind of following that. And that's the similarity. Let me switch to a weekly chart. Okay, now Bitcoin is an interesting thing. Bitcoin has been crashing pretty much since last October and November, right? When did this happen? November. So this is the QQQ. We were at the top, all-time highs like this. Boom, came down. Boom, came down, right? And now let me switch to line charts. The difference between line and bar charts is they pretty much gives you the same information, but in a bar chart you can actually find out where in a month or a week or day period, any kind of time period, where the stock opened and where it closed actually. All right, so that's the difference. Line charts are really good for you to get an understanding of how to get understand of the patterns and stuff. But for more details, definitely prefer to bar charts. Now in November we crashed, right? A 41% crash, and we still haven't actually recovered from it. We went over here. I told everyone that in my previous videos that we would go to about 52,000 and then come down. This is what's been happening. So whatever crashed here, it started with the stock market. It was not the Bitcoin that went down first, it was the stock market, right? And then Bitcoin followed with it. right? Now, here's what we need to know. Why this happened? What's going on? The biggest news was that inflation. Inflation actually is really high all over the world. In US, it's getting higher and higher, and Feds decided to actually increase interest rate. That's one of the few things that you can do to battle inflation, is to increase interest rates so that borrowing capacities goes down and it slows the money. But I don't think it's gonna be really effective unless they cut off the money printer, right? So to battle inflation, Feds came up with news that they're gonna increase interest rates in March. News came out, everybody started selling their shit, and that's what happened. All right, and just like they said, they started increasing interest rates in March. Now, they did one interest rate increase by, I think, 0.025%. So 3 days ago, Powell says taming inflation absolutely essential and a 50 basis point hike is possible for May, right? And this is actually crazy because this is why we're seeing all of this. Nasdaq actually recovered. As you can see, this month we opened up in really higher, and then actually we almost closing really low. Nasdaq actually went sideways, but this month it's gonna get bad, right? And the reason is this news. So when they increase interest rates, we know all the bros on Wall Street, they're gonna start dumping all of their risk off assets like cryptos and tech stocks, and Netflix is crashing. Netflix is got fucked. Netflix, I don't know what happened. Netflix has their internal, they didn't actually do well in their earnings. So this is what happened. And I predicted this. This is what happened. It's gonna keep on going down, at least I think to $150. This is bad. All the tech stocks in the Nasdaq is going down, and that's why we're seeing this huge sell-off this month. So the biggest reason why this is happening is because of inflation and what the Fed are trying to do for inflation. And that's it. With Bitcoin, if you don't have to worry. Wait. Be patient. If Bitcoin goes to zero, this is the time for you to actually buy in. This is not a bad thing. Bear markets aren't a bad thing. Even same goes with stocks. They're not a bad thing. Alright, I keep telling you guys. Have some money ready. It's gonna get bad for everybody. Like I told you, we're entering almost a recession. Right? It's gonna be bad for everybody, but live well below your mean and save some money. And of course, when these things go down, they will go down. You will have all of these available for a cheaper price. Keep that in your head. I'll see you guys in another video.